great to be here, first of all. Love this track, love coming here. FP1 didn't go quite swimmingly. Chris had a small off, comparatively small off at the end of FP1, but managed to fracture 2 of his fingers on his right hand, which is obviously throttle and brake. A very important bit of the body, that. So, and he's coped with it really well since. The medical staff have been looking after him, and he's a tough guy. So I wouldn't expect that to be troubling him too much.
I just broke my small finger. It's an injury that I've had many times before, so it's not as painful as a new break would be, but it's just a bit uncomfy when I'm on the brakes into the hairpin, so it'll be a long old 30 laps, that's for sure.
Saturday was much better for us into qualifying, our second day at Knockhill with new bikes, and yeah, as you could see, we qualified into Q3. Only a 10th off of the new lap record for James. Less than a 10th meant he was still down in 5th. But really, we've been working overnight on some more settings, and we found some real good speed for race day, as proved on our outing in warm-up this morning. We've got to see how the race pans out, but in terms of have we got the ability to not only run up the front, but challenge for a race win ahead of the 2 races today, I would say yes, we have.
I knew we could run with the front guys, and you know, front row would have been nice, but unfortunately we couldn't get it. But we weren't that far off, you know, like you say, it was just less than a 10th off pole position, and down there in 5th place, so a little bit frustrating. We went out in warm-up this morning, 0.037 off Shaky was the quickest, and we ended up 2nd, so yeah, I think it should be a good tight race.
It's a great track, it's one of my favourite races of the year. The crowd are really enthusiastic, the track's all action, there's no rest anywhere. Even the straight's not really a straight because it's up over a hill, the bike's wheeling everywhere, so there's no rest. So the 30 laps, they seem to last like 40, 50 laps, they really do, but it's all action down into the hairpins. I'm on the 3rd row of the grid. Ideally I'd have liked to have been on the 2nd row if possible, but it's close. Just need a good jump off the start, and then first couple of laps, stay out of trouble, and then we'll be away. Because the first couple of corners are so slow, the leaders, the first 3 or 4 guys, can easily get away. It regroups a bit into the hairpin, but you don't want to be 10th or 15th going into the hairpin. Riders going inside, outside, somebody's going to get it wrong, aren't they, and outbrake themselves. And if you're in the middle of that, you don't really know where you're going to end up.
They're ready to go. Yuichi Kiyanari, nervous as a kitten on the front row of the grid. Gets a good start, though, on the BMW. And Josh Brooks said, who's going to be the bravest down the hill into the first turn? And it's not going to be Brooksy, because Keogh swoops round there. Brooksy vitally cuts off the nose of last year's double winner, Shaky Bird, who's already coming under pressure from James Ellison as they go through the right-hander. But at the front, look at this, and here's Ellison.
Up the inside of Easton. That's into Clark's.
So James Ellison looking strong. He's got the 2 Rapid Solicitors Kawasaki's right behind him, and already Shaky Byrne trying to line up his teammate, but Easton already on the inside line trying to get back.
That's not gonna work.
He's collided with Ellison. Ellison's gone down, and he's pretty furious with that as the Lloyd's British GBmoto bike goes down. That's his first non-finish, non-podium. This is Chris Walker making a move into the hairpin. He sits up Josh Brooks. Brooks, he wouldn't be expecting that.
Well, that's what I would have expected to see when Easton passed Ellison, you know, but Ellison just didn't see Easton.
Chris Walker in 5th place.
Race 1 really disappointed for James. It was a racing incident. But he was knocked down, and that's kind of spoiled his weekend. Race 1 for Chris was a real big battle.
30 laps of the 1.2666 recurring mile circuit at Knockhill, and off the grid. Great start this time by Shaky Bird. Complete contrast to race 1. He gets his head down and dives feet first into turn 1. Josh Brooks makes a terrific Brooks start and gets through to 3rd place off the 2nd row of the grid. And there's Ellison going right round the outside at the Scotsman and making up huge numbers straight away in the early part of the lap. And Ellison up to 8th place.
Walker up the inside of Easton. Now that's going to work, or it's going to be bad for them both. And yes, it was the latter.
Walker tries to regroup because he's got Josh Brooks right with him.
Walker looking for a look at Easton. He's got past him, and that's at Clark's, and he had to run white to do it, but he's kept the position. Look at Easton to try and get back up in front of the hairpin now.
Chris Walker, a fabulous 3rd. Tommy Bridewell beats James Ellison for 8th place.
Chris has done a fantastic job there, and a podium, not quite 100% podium record, but we're not leaving any of the circuits we've been to yet without a podium, and he deserves that more than anybody. He's beaten some really good, fast guys there. Fantastic.
The tweak Daz and Chunty made to the bikes and the brake to make the throttle a bit lighter just transformed it. I could keep it wide open, whereas race 1 I was struggling to hold the throttle open. So yeah, good ride, good weekend, brilliant.
James in 8th, so he scored some points. A fair weekend at Knockhill. Looking forward to round 5. We've got 4 or 5 different bits of development for the bike between now and Brands Hatch, so look forward to seeing you then.
I didn't take my glove off. I think it fell off actually halfway through the race.